Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, I hope you appreciated what the rawasi are. These are plates that cover the surface of the earth, and they are connected with each other in a corrugated manner, and that's where all the earthquakes happen. And Allah have created them and put them on the surface of the earth. So there is the crust of the earth, and there is the rawasi, which is called the lithosphere, and there are some more layers until you come to the iron core and the iron liquid, and those are 7 as Allah mentioned in the Quran. So that definitely shows you that the rawasi is completely different as from the mountains, which we are going to explain in a few minutes. The most important thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about the mountains, He uplifted the mountains. He uplifted the mountains. He pushed them up, erected them. And the mountains, there are 3 facts about mountains. The first fact, that He uplifted them, erected them, moved them upwards. And they act as pegs. And you know what a peg is? The peg is the little thing that we hold the tent with. You know, we got a stick that looks like a triangle and long, and we dig it and push it into the earth, and we put ropes and we hold the tent down with these pegs. The mountains are pegs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described them with one word, that He created them as pegs. And don't be mistaken with the rawasi, which are from all the surface of the earth, and they have got different functions so that the earth will not cave from us. They are very immense and very big, and they're just like a great big boat. They have got very, very different characters from the mountains. The mountains are birthed at the edges of the rawasi. So the mountains, when they are created, they created at the edges of these great big plates of the rawasi. So how all this happens? These are pictures of the mountains of the Himalaya, for instance. And أَفَلَا يَنْظُرُونَ إِلَى الْإِبِلِ كَيْفَ خُلِقَتْ. Have they seen how we made the Ibil? وإلى السماء كيف رفعت وإلى الجبال كيف نصبت. And how did we make the Jibal erected upwards? وإلى الأرض كيف سطحت. And to the earth have we flattened it and made it easy for walking and living. So that's the first description of the mountains that are clear. And we have got types of mountains. So we've got the mountains that can, like the Sierra Nevada mountains, that's a fault block, is a fault in the earth, and the mountains have just came out as a result of the fault of this earth. Or the upwarped, the result of compression, force coming from this side and force coming from this side, and the pressure builds up and the rocks are pushed up and made a mountain. And this is like the Rocky Mountains and the Black Hills of Dakota. And there's a picture of them there. Or falls, tremendous horizontal pressure, which buckles the rock layers into fold, like the Himalaya and the Ural. And that all happen in the Himalaya mountains. And our Indian colleagues have seen this very easily happening in front of them. So how does this happen? وَالْجِبَالَ أَرْسَاهَا. I mean, the word arsa is a verb from rawasi. So he says that the mountains, he has firmly birthed them. How does he do that? If you look at the plates in front of us here, one plate is moving and the other plate is moving. So when they come together, they push one another, and one plate goes up and the other plate goes down, and the mountain in between, which is the rocks that has been pushed up, gets squashed and hold the plates from going inside. And that's how the mountains has got a function, that it stops the plates from going inside the earth and melting. Because if the edges of the plates went inside the earth, the plates will melt. So the mountains are there as a stabilizer, as a wedge that Allah sticks down between the plates and put them and hold them from actually going inside the earth and disappearing. Because if the edges went inside the earth, the heat of the earth will melt them, or melt the rocks in them. And you can see these are models that we made to show the different pictures and the different constitutions and what exactly happens when two plates push one another and one goes under and a mountain is formed, and then the mountain gets impact in between the two plates and stops the plates from going inside the earth. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah An-Naba, وَالْجِبَالَ أَوْتَادًا, that He made the mountains wedges. Exactly like what I told you. It goes there between the rawasi and stops it from going any further inside the earth and disappear. This is our sections in the earth. It shows here on the right hand side a section which shows the Himalaya in India and how the Himalaya is holding the two plates, the Asian plate and the Indian plate, from going inside the earth. And the Himalaya mountains act as a wedge. You can see the wedge here in the section of the different layers. This represents the earth crusts which contain the continent, India and Asia, and then it shows the area of the rawasi, which has got these corrugated lines where the earthquakes take place, and then more layers inside of the earth. I didn't want to go into them because we're not going to talk geology. I just wanted to show you the facts of the creation of the earth as it is written in our Quran and how it compares to the truth. And Allah has told us these facts more than 1400 years ago in the Quran. And of course, nobody was able to understand or appreciate what the Quran is saying. So, this is a wedge of the Himalaya section in the section of the earth. And this man has been watching the mountains. John Moore is a geologist in America, and he was sitting down watching St. Helen, the Mount of St. Helen in America, moving. Every day it moves a meter, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِذَا الْجِبَالُ سُيِّرَتْ. So the mountains will move. And وَتَسِيرُ الْجِبَالِ سَيْرًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala confirms the Jibal actually will move. And then that's the mountain of St. Helen was recorded by television and by cameras and by all the scientists in the world to show what the Quran says, that people were laughing at us when we said that the mountains move, and they actually not stationary. So the mountain of St. Helena has moved slowly. And this is a picture of the mountain starting to move seriously. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَإِذَا الْجِبَالُ سُيِّرَتْ, if the mountain started to move, walk. وَسُيِّرَتِ الْجِبَالُ فَكَانَتْ سَرَابًا. So it becomes saraba, it's like a cloud. It becomes like a sarab, like dust. It moves out in the air. وَتَكُونُ الْجِبَالُ كَالْعِهْنِ, كالعهن, like cotton present in the earth. وَتَرَى الْجِبَالَ تَحْسِبُهَا جَامِدَةً, you think that the mountain is solid and standing there. وَهِيَ تَمُرُّ مَرَّ السَّحَابِ, and it moves like clouds. صُنْعَ اللَّهِ الَّذِي أَتْقَنَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ إِنَّهُ خَبِيرٌ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ. So you look at the picture here. The mountains will be like wool, كالعهن, or cotton distributed in the air, and how it's going to move like clouds. And the mountain here in the satellite in Manila, in Manitoba, has moved 800 miles by satellite from the explosion that happened in that mountain in the south. وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْجِبَالِ فَقُلْ يَنْسِفُهَا رَبِّي نَسْفًا. And they ask you about the mountains and say God will scatter them as dust. He will make them disappear. And this is exactly what happened to St. Helena mountain when it actually exploded. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have made all its parts disappear in the air. So much so that the particles from America have traveled and were present in England, and were present traces of them in the rest of the world. That's how far the dust has traveled everywhere. And that is a picture of a similar situation other than St. Helena. And this is my summary of what happened to the mountain. Thank you. And I will speak to you about a different topic in the next session, inshallah.